So we're playing Blue-Red Storm today. I just copy-pasted the deck list that had recently gone 5-0 on a Magic Online League. One thing of note, because Modern's an interesting, weird format, is this deck has 3 copies of Chalice of the Void in the sideboard, which is interesting. Notably, there's only 8 1-mana cantrips in the main deck, which I guess makes sense if we're going to be boarding in Chalice on 1. We got a couple copies of Peer Through Depths as well as a 2 converted mana cost cantrip that you can cast through Chalice of the Void, which is interesting. Things to note is that this deck list is playing 18 lands, which is about 1 more than a lot of the Storm decks play, which makes sense if we're playing less 1-mana cantrips, having access to slightly more mana overall means that it's a good thing. So we're going to be looking for lands a little bit less. Been really thinking about running Incubation, Incongruity, and Bug Shadow. Roast me, please. I would encourage you to look at the hyper geometric distribution on the number of creatures you need to hit with Incongruity consistently, Matt. It's like north of 20, which you almost certainly don't have in a Death Shadow deck. Maybe we'll see a 5 matches that'll run good, but then I remember this is Modern. Were you here for Affinity yesterday, Anna? We played all 5 yesterday and we ran pretty good. Hopefully we'll hear yeah, Modern in our favor, because this deck definitely qualifies as moderning people a good deal of the time. Easy mulligan here, no cantrips, no second land. This hand seems like a fine keep. I'm going to ship one of these steam vents to the bottom. I like the rest of what I have going on here. Copperline Gorge, Living End. Dredge, got it. Frenzy was a perfect addition. It's definitely something. I think this match favors Storm on average, but I'm not 100% on that. The last time I've played this matchup from the Dredge side a few times, and that was pre-Creeping Chill, and Creeping Chill definitely changes Dredge's racing dynamic. All right, we already have a Gifts Ungiven, so this hand is just looking for a mana creature, a Baral, or an Electromancer. So I'm going to take another cantrip here, so we can dig to that. Yeah, that's the plan, right? The plan is draw a mana creature, kill them on 3. Is the ideals. Hey, Captain Sedai. Thanks for the 21 months. Welcome back. Ooh, do you not have another land? You gotta have another land, right? They're just like milling before they hit in case they hit more blood gas. Yeah, because they dredged for the turn, so there's like no way they don't have it. So again, for those of you that might be new to Modern, my opponent's playing a deck called Dredge. They're going to put 10 power into play on turn 2. Please enjoy your stay. Cardis, thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, mana creature. Mana creature. Yikes. All right, probably dead. Lumbering Falls. It's been a fantastic ride these last 6 months. Thanks for all you do for Hooklandia and Magic as a whole. Thank you. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one. So I'm going to go bottom this, top the Electromancer. Is this... Yeah, I think this is turn 3 for... I was going to say, I think this is turn 3 from an empty board, right? So we get to go Electromancer, double Ritual, Manamorphose, and then the deterministic kill is casting Gifts Ungiven with a mana creature in play with 3 mana floating. So this will put me to 3. This will put me to 5. This will put me to 6. And then this casts, putting me down to 3 red mana. Yeah, so then again, just to count it again, this gives me 3 mana. This puts me to... So I play the Goblin. This puts me to 3 mana. This puts me to 5 mana. This puts me to 6 mana. And then Gifts Ungiven costs 3. Which then means that I cast Gifts Ungiven with 3 floating. We get Ritual, Manamorphose, Past in Flames, and we get to kill them from there. Load you enough to make you play good decks. I don't know if is this deck considered good anymore. It was way down on the list of Goldfish decks. Has not been putting up. Yeah, if they have a way to kill the Electromancer, we are definitely dead. But we're dead on board, so like we're not here to not go for it. I suppose they can flashback Faithless Looting and dredge Cripple Creeping Chill and kill me. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people who play, especially at local game stores, and this is not all local game stores, obviously, this is just some of them. Well, there's a lot of people who don't actually play Modern, but they play Magic they play what's essentially casual Magic with the Modern ban list, and playing casual Magic with a Modern ban list is A+ excellent. It's very, very good. Like there are a lot of sweet combinations of cards you can play in this format. All right, so let's talk through how they're dead so I don't misclick this. So we go Ritual, Manamorphose. It doesn't matter what colors I make here, right? Oh, would you look at that? I think I'm actually supposed to hold that, right? Because I could splice it later. And then this is deterministically dead from here. We get Ritual, Manamorphose, plus Past in Flames. The reason why this is deterministically dead for people who are not familiar with Storm or are new to Modern is because with the Past in Flames and the mana I'm getting here, Past in Flames flashes back for some reason, which means that regardless of which combination of cards my opponent gives me here, I'm going to be able to cast Past in Flames this turn, which will allow me to generate an absurd amount of mana and cast Gifts Ungiven again, getting another Past in Flames and a copy of Grapeshot, and the Grapeshot will then be lethal. Cast and splice additional spells. Okay. And then I can actually make absurd amounts of mana here now because I cast Past in Flames and I can splice this one onto the ones I'm casting from my graveyard. So my opponent put 10 power into play on turn 2, and it wasn't fast enough. Welcome to Modern. Welcome to Modern. Welcome to Modern. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. But thank goodness Splinter Twin is banned. Thank goodness Splinter Twin isn't legal. The format is free from the tyranny that is Splinter Twin. Just be a darn shame if Splinter Twin were legal in this format. So we get the second Past in Flames, we get a Pyretic Ritual. Are we conceding? Is this a concession lockup, or is Moto just being slow? Concession lockup, got it. Yeah, Stone Forge Mystic. It's funny. My gut goes to making fun of Splinter Twin being banned because Splinter Twin is at least unfair, right? It's Stoneforge Mystic is on such a different spectrum of in terms of what's fair and what's not compared to decks like this that just doesn't even register in my gut reaction of what we're supposed to talk about. So, I don't think empty's good enough here, right? They're probably boarding in Leyline of the Void, which means I'm supposed to bring in pieces of the puzzle, I think. Is empty good? I feel like empty's not good enough here. This build notably does not have a lot of ways to take Leyline off the table, though. I've got exactly Repeal. Am I supposed to cut Remand? Remand's good against Cathartic Reunion, Faithless Looting, and Conflagrate. I feel like I'm supposed to keep the Remands. I also kind of feel like I'm supposed to board these in, but I don't know if, like, they're like, is this actually going to be good enough a lot of the time? Like, I feel like Empty the Warren is, like, not going to be good enough to race what they have going on most of the time. Although, there's also the dynamic that in the post-board games, because my opponent's going to be mulliganing for Disruption like Leyline of the Void, their average turn they kill us on is going to be slower. Yeah, there aren't any bounce spells in this sideboard, are there? It's just like this Miser main deck repeal. I think I'm just going to board in the pieces. What do I want to cut, though? It's like one pass, a Gifts Ungiven. Maybe I do trim the Remands. Yeah, usually you trim some gifts if you're expecting Graveyard Hate. Alright, I reverted to old Jeff there for a second and fragged someone that was just crapping on the deck list. Remember, if you're going to engage in chat here, please be helpful and specific and constructive. Don't just say, this choice is bad or this deck is bad. Help people understand. Talk about why you feel the way you do. Don't just crap on things and decisions that people have made. Educate. Help people understand. If you think a card doesn't make sense, explain why you think it doesn't make sense. For instance, let me take a crack at explaining why I think the Chalice of the Void seems like a good idea. This deck has fallen off the face of the planet. And if you look at Modern and the things that are happening in the format that have caused it to fall off the face of the planet, Chalice of the Void seems like a good way to attack the decks that have become popular while this deck has become less popular. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So the people who are like talking about, well, you need to do what we've always done. It's like, well, there's a reason why this deck has become less popular, right? So like you probably want to experiment and try things to try and fix the problems the deck is having, rather than saying it was good enough for my fathers and my father's father, so it was good enough for me. Like you need to try. And sometimes en route to trying, you fail, and that's okay. Not everything's gonna work out all the time. Yeah, I think this is just like turn 3 make some goblins. How do you feel about fetches in this deck? I think the fetches do a good job of concealing what you're playing game 1, but I don't really have strong opinions on them either way. And I think I'm actually gonna wait on the Baral. Do I want to wait on the Baral? I think if I wait on the Baral, they can kill it in response, and then I don't get to. Nah, I'm not gonna wait on the Baral. Because if they kill it in response, I don't get to make goblins, so that would not be ideal. It's my favorite tribal deck for Modern. I like both elves and fairies in Modern. In Standard, I don't really know. Alright, they didn't hit Conflagrate, so that's good for us. I don't think I'm supposed to play around Dark Blast in the post-board game, so I'm going to go ahead and block with this Bloodghast when it attacks. I want to save myself the points of life because we're going to be going off with goblins here, which means we are going to be racing, so our health total is relevant. Yeah, there aren't really good tribal decks in Standard right now. Sweet. Yeah, I didn't think they play cards right now that punish that block. We get a lot of looks at another ritual here. Perfect. Do I bottom the Grapeshot? So this puts me to 3, 4, 5 mana. And Grapeshot kind of helps me race, right? Grapeshot's gonna deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage. And I guaranteed it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think the Grapeshot's actually good here. Because this is gonna put me to 3 mana, this is 4 mana, this is 5 mana, and this costs me 3 and this costs me 1. I think I go top here. Morning flying. It's going swell. We get to do this. Attack with Baral. This puts them to 12. And I've got 13 power in play here. And they have to take a damage from City of Brass if they did not dredge into a Creeping Chill. It's good for us. Yep, yeah, anything in Magic that's not a land is a spell, Party Bus Driver. No blocks. Opponent had their hate card. I drew 6 lands in, 15 cards. It looks like we're still gonna get them. They don't have any dredgers in their bin, so they can't even hit Creeping Chill here. And this was, again, it's kind of like what we talked about when we were sideboarding, right? When I was, like, going back and forth in the empties, I was like, well, are these empties good? Well, the empties aren't good against my opponent's fast draws, but post-board, my opponent has interaction in their deck, so their average draw slows down a little bit because they're trying to make interaction happen. Schwingy, thank you for the 13 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, we killed them on turn 4 after they mulliganed to find their hate card. Welcome to Modern. Welcome to Modern. I don't think they even enter the graveyard, but I'm not 100% on that. Good solid fired up our NASCARs there to start. Vroom vroom. Our car's got a quick engine in it. Hopefully we'll run some folks down. I don't think anything cares if they would. Yeah, that's another question too, right? Is there anything, like, creatures entering the bin and leaving is relevant for Dies effects, but is there a card in Magic the Gathering that's, like, relevant for that to happen? Bacchanation, thank you for the half a year. Welcome back. Thanks for shipping your beta bucks back this way again. What's going on, Super? Happy birthday. Hope you're having a fantabulous Thursday. It's pretty good. It it doesn't have any rituals in it. Obviously, it's just like setting up a bunch, but it's got like a bunch of setup, and it's got a mana creature in it. So I think this is definitely in the range of keepable. We're looking for I am looking for lands to a degree. So I think I'm actually gonna bottom this and keep the Spirebluff Canal. I think there's a good chance my next turn is just like double cantrip, just like trying to get fully set up. I'm going to Niagara Falls this weekend. I'm playing Eldrazi Stompade. Do you think it's correct to play one of Ulamog and for the Eye of Ugin to tutor for? I haven't played enough Legacy to know the answer to that question. My answer as always would be defer to people who have spent more time working on things like that than me. All right, I'm gonna bottom another cantrip here. I'm gonna keep the ritual because we need rituals to get going. So we're looking for Gifts Ungiven at this point. It's a Grapeshot. Nope, not looking for that. I'm just gonna go bottoms up here. They didn't shock themselves. They're not a Death Shadow deck. This is a Growth Spiral. They're the Sultai Reclamation deck. Yeah, I don't play against this deck on Moto. It's too slow and miserable. That deck is slow and miserable on Magic Arena. It's slower and more miserable on Magic Online. Not doing it. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Sultai Reclamation. Sultai Nexus of Fate Reclamation. It's playing out exactly how I expected it to. It feels like it just makes every deck more reasonable. Feels like it takes the non-games of Magic that are inherent to the design of the game and makes there be less of them. Feels like an incredibly positive thing. This hand needs a mana creature and a Gifts Ungiven, but it's got like reasonable stuff in it. Yeah, it's identical to the deck in Standard, where it's just like, regardless of whether or not you win or lose, you like walk away from the game feeling dissatisfied. You're just like, yep, that was a game of Magic, I guess. I didn't have fun, but we played Magic, I suppose. All right, we hit the mana creature right off the bat. That's sweet. Fetch, Steam Vent, Serum Visions. Fetch, Steam Vent, Serum Visions. See, my opponent is also someone of culture. I think I actually keep both of these. I'm in the market for more rituals, and we drew the Gifts Ungiven. I mean, Frost, did you like not, one, did you not listen to my explanation? And two, did you not literally just watch the game where my opponent started with Leyline of the Void and we just killed them on turn 4? Like I talked about the theory of what could happen, and then in practice, exactly what I said could happen in the theory literally happened the following game. So it's just like saying like it's a requirement to play the bounce spells, I think is very much a representation of you're stuck you're stuck in your ways and you're afraid to try new things. And when a deck like this is struggling in the format and not putting up results, innovating and trying new things is the way you get better. That's how you potentially take these decks and make them playable again. Bring them back into getting those results that they were previously having. When your deck is failing to put up results, if you just keep beating your head against the wall, doing the same thing over and over and over again, going, I don't understand why it's not working, I don't understand why it's not working, and just like doing the same thing over and over again isn't going to magically make it work. But I mean, like, you're really not open to something new if your knee-jerk response to seeing something new is, that's bad. That's not being open to something new. Being open to something new isn't starting with being like, garble, 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 that's bad. Hey, look at that. My opponent died. Weird. Modern is great when we're playing a good deck. You're not wrong. Like I said, it's not that I dislike Modern. It's that I grew to dislike playing the rancid terrible decks that can't actually win matches of Magic. Chalice is really good against Death Shadow and this Phoenix deck. I have enough mana to cast the Sleight of Hand before I get going too, right? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. My opponent just sitting there calmly waiting for me to click. Are we conceding? Are we done? Do you understand that you're dead? I'm gonna sit here and cast spells. Alright, sweet. Is Chalice good enough against Burn? No, I don't think it is. I don't think Chalice is very good against Burn on average. Does Phoenix play... Phoenix doesn't usually play Leyline, right? I think I'm supposed to bring an empty here because they're a Surgical Extraction deck. Remand seems kind of bad here. I think I'm supposed to cut at least one or two of my cantrips. I don't think I cut all of them, but I cut some of them for sure. How do we kill? Yeah, we just cast a bunch of spells, then we cast the card Grapeshot, and they die. Grapeshot is the lethal one. I might just go down to 4 1-mana spells, honestly. Just go down to just the Serum Visions. Seems fine. I think I want Dismember because I think killing Thing in the Ice is pretty important. Especially if I'm bringing in Empty the Warrens. And like I said, I think because they're a Surgical Extraction deck, it's necessary to bring in Empty the Warrens just in case things go sideways with my Grapeshot plan. Storm is like a race car, the deck is the burnout, and Grapeshot is the launch. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, at the end of the day, the Chalice of the Voids might be bad. But the actual answer is, on the surface, it seems like a coherent game plan to me. So I am interested to try it because if you look at the results, Storm's fallen way off. And you need to, the first step at getting better at something is sucking at it. If you don't try, you're going to fail. What's the, I think I messed it up. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You gotta mix some stuff around to make it happen sometimes. Yep. You can't fail if I don't try. That's true. That is true. If you don't try, you won't fail. I don't think Chalice is actually good against Burn. For reference, I am not on board with... I would not board in Chalice against Burn in this deck. Burn has... Modern Burn especially has a pretty critical mass of 2-mana burn spells, which we don't want to put Chalice on 2 in this deck. In fact, I think this deck running Chalice is a reasonable innovation, in large part for the same reason that it's like Budget Surgical is reasonable in large part for the same reason that that you want to put Chalice on 2 against this deck a lot of the time. Oh yeah, it's even worse in the face of that. Yep. Oh, that's funny. You can splice Desperate Ritual onto Pure. I didn't even think about that. That's hilarious. Mana creature. Well, I mean... So, this might not be good enough at this point. Because this is already at 2 and this is in play, this might not be good enough. That being said, once they flip the thing, I'm going to have 3 turns, so maybe I can hit a series of draws in those 3 turns to let us be okay. We'll see. Wow, is their hand just a bunch of stone cold nothing? I wonder if they board in Abrade in this matchup. I would not be surprised if they board in Abrade in this matchup. You have a Vendilion click. Okay, this could actually go okay for us depending on what they take, because we drew a 3rd Desperate Ritual. And they don't have mana for Relic up right now. Do we win regardless of what they take here? No, if they take the Gifts Ungiven, we're possibly stranded. But I also get 2 draws off the Manamorphose, so I might go for it. I get another Manamorphose. I think I'm in to go for it, right? So what is this makes? This makes 6 mana. This puts me to 6. This puts me to 8. This puts me to 9. Oh, and I probably don't want to play the last one until I play Past in Flames, right? Because I can splice this onto these 2 again. I think we just go for it here. Never punished. I feel like I played this game really well. I don't think I made any mistakes this game. I suppose I should Manamorphose first here, because if I draw the 4th Desperate Ritual, I could splice both. and do it, and do it, and do it again. I have double Manamorphose in my bin. The amount of blue mana I have is irrelevant. We've achieved arbitrary mana. Yep. So so what actually makes more mana here? Do I Past in Flames with 2 so I can double splice? Or do I ritual single splice? So if I cast this now, this turns 6 into 9 and this turns 9 into 12. I don't think it matters. So like, whereas if I cast these now, these turn 10 into, oh god, counting. So if I cast this, it leaves me with 6, and then this splice these is 9, and then this splice these is 12, and then I cast both of these and go to 14, go to 15. Whereas if I cast one of these now, I go up to 12, and then this puts me down to 8, and then each of these give me +2 with just one in my hand, just to go to 10, 12, 14. I believe I get one more by keeping both of these in my hand. Oh, also, if I keep them in my hand, I can splice them onto Peer Through the Depths. That's the real reason. Yeah, I can splice them onto Peer Through the Depths too. I definitely leave 2 in my hand because I can splice them onto Peer Through the Depths. Magic the Gathering as Richard Garfield intended it to be played, ladies and gentlemen. Surprise! We're spliced onto Arcade Tribal, right? Admit it, Splice onto Arcade is your favorite. It kind of is, Burgle. It really kind of is. Ooh! I found a piece of candy! We could technically still brick here. That's a Grapeshot there at 16. Alright, that's deterministic. Until we had the Grapeshot, we could have bricked here. Oh, another Past in Flames, sure. Another turn 4 kill. We like to party. We like to party. Beep beep ba-doo-doo. The revealed zone is just 341 desperate rituals. Oh, that was awesome. That was fantabulous. How we doing, folks? Good morning. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday. Oh. Sultai Nexus. I did not feel like playing against Sultai Nexus. These slow turn 4 kills. What is this standard? Listen! They had a relic of Progenitus, okay? They interacted with me. How does it feel to be the hunter behind the scope instead of the prey in the crosshairs? It feels great, Anner. It feels truly, truly wonderful. Went 4-0 at my F&M last night. You went to F&M last night. I was like, Effing him last night. I feel like my days of the week are wrong. Oh, sweet. My opponent's using Serum Powder. That means my leak's potentially free if they abuse the bug. It's also fun, and this is a side effect here, because our deck is built to play Chalice of the Void on one, our deck's actually better against Chalice than a lot of these decks are because we play our own Chalice, right? And like post-board, I'm set up where I can just board out some of my... I can board out some of my one-mana cantrips. How goes the Modern? It's been a good time. I think I'm just gonna pass with Remand up here. I don't have any rituals or Gifts Ungiven set up yet, so like getting the Electromancer down doesn't do anything ASAP here. Yeah, when like you're a Chalice deck and they Chalice you, you're just like, oh, you mulliganed, nice mulligan. They have Eldrazi Obligator in their deck, that's interesting. I think I'm just on, like, the Remand anything plan here. It's a sweet draw. Here's an important interaction. Goblin Electromancer making my spells cost 1 mana to put on the stack does not make them converted mana cost 1. So I can still cast Remand with this Chalice out here. The territory has been claimed by the Eldrazi. And this time, I'm going to let the Mimic resolve. Because I can peer through depths if they... Backup Chalice on one. Deal. I guess I'm just passing for now. I'm not under any sort of pressure, so it's like I'm not in a rush to get going. Repeal. Repeal notably cannot return Chalice of one to its owner's hand, because Chalice has a converted mana cost of 0 on the battlefield, which means Repeal costs 1 to try and bounce the Chalice. Listen, Nivik, we just dumpstered Blue-Red Phoenix, so I don't want to hear it. I think I'm going to repeal this, actually. Yeah, I just don't have anything going on currently, which is unfortunate. You need a Gifts Ungiven. Or Past in Flames would do it too at this point, right? I'm not under enough pressure yet that I'm gonna like make them go for it with the Manamorphose. That kills us. I guess I have to Morphose here and try and find a Remand. But I've already played 2 and there's only 1 more in my deck. Chalice on 2 is very good against Storm. Bring in Shatterstorm, bring in Pieces, bring in Dismember. I expect them to be attacking my graveyard post-board. I'm actually going to trim a bunch of these 1-mana cantrips. I'm not going to bring in Abrade because I can't Abrade a Chalice on 2, obviously. Oh, Moon's great. Yep. Good call. Repeal doesn't... I guess Repeal takes Chalice on 2 off the table. Yeah, cutting some gifts is probably fine. I don't know that I want to cut all of them. I think I want to leave a couple. I think all the remands are good here. It could just be that the Repeal's not very good. Because especially if they're putting Chalice on 1, Repeal leaves a lot to be desired. Like, if they're good and putting Chalice on 2 beforehand, but they prioritize putting it on 1 that game, even the second one. So I think I'm going to cut this, assuming that they're going to prioritize Chalice on 1. And then, like that game, we can just mostly ignore Chalice on 1. It's Chalice on 2 that locks us out, as demonstrated by my curve or lack thereof. The Sand just needs a Gifts Ungiven. So the way Serum Powder is supposed to work with this new rule, you're not supposed to Serum Powder until after you put cards from your hand back in the bottom of your deck, right? Is the way it works? Am I understanding that correctly? Oh, did they fix it? It looks like they fixed it. Because they only Serum Powdered 5 cards here. Hey, maybe it's fixed. I guess we can play Colorless Eldrazi tomorrow then. Looks like Serum Powder worked correctly on my opponent's side. When we tried to play Colorless Eldrazi last Thursday, Moto was bugged with the new Mulligan rule in Serum Powder. So I led on Baral as opposed to Electromancer because Baral is legendary, so I can't have multiple copies of him in play, whereas I can have multiple Electromancers. Sure, let's do it. Past in Flames, not so useful. I left 1 copy of that in my deck. Yikes. Do I tweet when it's standard time? I tag people on Discord. Yeah. I'm not managing my Twitter account anymore, so it's only got, like, sporadic updates. So, like, 1 post per day based on the deck of the day and other random stuff that's scheduled. But my little random tweets about what I'm streaming don't go up there anymore. It's going to be a Thought-Knot Seer. Serum Powder, sure. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's half their health total. I might just Manamorphose and, like, blow my load here. Although they didn't Thought-Knot Seer me last turn. Yeah. Yeah, our motto, the motto for the remainder of the year is remove unnecessary negativity from my life. And social media creates an absurd amount of unnecessary negativity. It's real bad. Please smusher me. Another reason to wait on Grapeshotting them is if they have like a Reality Smasher this turn, they might get aggressive with it and attack me, and then I'm gonna hit them for 4 and then probably kill them with the Grapeshot next turn. Padtron, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, so my waiting there encouraged them to attack, which now lets me deal lethal. Might have Simian Spirit Guide to activate Mutavault. Maybe. Ain't nobody got time to play around that. Storm is 3, Storm is 4, Storm is 5. Kill you with Grapeshot. God bless you, little Electromancers. The grizzly goblin beats coming in hot across the finish line there that game. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I'm gonna go ahead and run it back. Thanks for the 2 months, Padtron. I appreciate that. Captain Jack, thank you for the 11 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's fine. It's like decent against Chalice on 1, decent against Leyline. Opponent mulligan to 6. They Serum Powder double Eldrazi Temple away. That's sweet. Wait, so you Serum Powder your 6, and then if you mulligan to 5, you go back to 7, just put 2 back? Is that real? That's how that works? That's weird. Yeah, it's just strange that like you like go down to 6 and then back up to 7 basically when you redraw the next time. Feels strange to me. How do we feel about Grapeshot the Eldrazi Mimic? Is that crazy? That probably buys me a lot of time, right? I feel like Grapeshot the Eldrazi Mimic buys me a lot of time, so I'm gonna do it. Well, I feel smart and thin. Makes a Remand less good, obviously. Oh, they was like, what is... That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's also true. It puts the Grapeshot in the bin to make Past and Flames better. You're not wrong. Ooh, I took empty, which is smart, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch before I Serum Vision, so that way I'm putting cards in the bottom that I think I'm going bottom top. I suppose I could go top here, and the next turn I can Visions into Electromancer. I like that, actually. Let's do that. They could have a Dismember here. Pyretic Ritual, another Remand. Remand's not very good. I think I'm in the market for a Ritual at this point. I think I'm just passing this turn. I could like be aggressive and try and go for it, but like if they end up dismembering me, I feel real bad. I also kind of want to leave up Remand so that way they can't like, because if they like dismember me, untap Chalice for 2, the game like ends on the spot. So I think if they kill this here, I just let this happen because I really don't want to get Chalice out of the game. Like their clock's kind of slow, so I just like give myself time to get set up here. 4 turns before I'm dead to this Thought-Knot Seer. Some of these Eldrazi decks play Ravenous Trap in the sideboard, which is something I need to be like on my radar. We're probably going to get to a point where I can't afford to play around it, especially if I draw Gifts Ungiven. Hopefully their hand is just a bunch of, like, Dismembers and clunky stuff they can't cast. Yeah, I think I just take the Gifts Ungiven here, and the plan is, like, end step Gifts, untap, kill them. I actually wouldn't mind drawing a land here. Hitting my 6 land drop, and I'm, like, when you're trying to go on the, like, natural them without a mana dork plan, like hitting your land drops tends to be good. Morning, dude. Another ritual is good too. So I think this is gonna be your typical Gifts Ungiven for ritual Manamorphose. Maybe it isn't actually. What am I getting with this Gifts? How do we feel about double mana dork, ritual Past in Flames? I kind of like that. Because, like, I have so many rituals that, like, if they give me mana dorks, I could do my thing. So I think I get dork. No, I don't want Manamorphose because in the event that they give me the ritual and the Past in Flames, I want to be able to have enough mana to go off without a creature in play. And with 3 rituals gives me 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, which gives me enough to do that. I think I want extra mana so I can do things like cast Peer Through the Depths. Oh, yeah, I should technically get Desperate Ritual, because then if I draw another one, I could do the Splice. Oh, I can splice it onto Peer Through Depths, too. Yeah, I definitely should have gotten Desperate Ritual. Small mistake there. And obviously, if they have Surgical or Ravenous Trap here, I think I'm just dead. But I think this is the play to win line. They hit Mutavault here as their 4th land too, which actually gives them lethal on board. So this is the make them have it, go for it turn. Wow, they split the difference, huh? That was a good draw. They must have a Dismember here, right? That's why they split the difference. So I'm going to Ritual in response here. Is it crazy? Because, like, they're going to just get to re-dismember me. Although, I guess if they dismember me, paying for more health here, does my Grapeshot just become lethal very quickly then? So, if I remand this, this is going to put me to 6 mana. This is going to put me to 7 mana. Yeah, it's 4 free storm count with the Grapeshot already in my bin, right? Yeah, so I think I remand the Dismember. Well, the Grapeshot's in my discard pile, so I can't... Remanding the Grapeshot's a bad plan. Remanding the Grapeshot that I'm going to be flashing back's a bad plan. Because if you remand a card in your discard pile, you're not going to have a good time. Alright. No graveyard hate, and they're dead. You can remand it. You're not going to be pleased with the result. So for people not familiar with that interaction... If you remand a card that's been flashed back, the card does not go to its owner's hand. Because part of the rules of flashback is, if that card would be put into any zone, it gets exiled instead. Alright, so we're 3-1 with the one loss being a concession to Sultai Reclamation, because I didn't feel like playing that matchup. Because that matchup is more miserable on Magic Online than it is on Arena, because it has this application is just very slow. So, 3-1 with an asterisk on the 1. Maybe we could have won it. I don't know. I didn't feel like trying. We've beaten Leylines. We've beaten Chalice of the Voids. We've attacked. We've killed. Blarg, blarg, blarg. So does Unsubstantiate not work on a flashback spell either? Yeah, so Unsubstantiate also, the spell also gets exiled. And then here's the Magic's intuitive and easy to understand. If you remand a card that's been recast from your graveyard with Jace -2, or Jace Fringe Prodigy's -3, that one goes back to your hand because Jace Fringe Prodigy technically doesn't give it flashback. It lets you cast it from the graveyard, which is functionally different under the rules of Magic the Gathering. And that is why Modern is an extremely beginner-friendly format that's easy to get into and understand. Yes, and then there's Spell Queller. Yikes. Yep. Yeah, I liked this build a lot when I glanced at it. So, like, we had Storm in the queue, and the person who donated for it was just, like, find your preferred Storm list. So I, like, looked up a bunch of recent lists, and this one really caught my eye on the 5-0. It had the Chalices in the board, which are a little bit of innovation. I also like that some of the Storm configurations had been cutting Baral and Goblin Electromancer, like, only playing 6 or 7 copies. And I like that this build's just in on the full 8. It's just like, you know what? We're just gonna, like, go as fast as possible, and these creatures let us go as fast as possible. Ervik, thank you for the 5 months of support. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Thanks for keeping me around. This seems fine. Like, nothing super exciting, but definitely just fine. We're gonna have Fetch Shock. We're looking for a few things, but we've got, like, lands. We've got a couple of cantrips. We've got a couple of cards we care about. Ooh, Fair Magic. Second Pass in Flames. Not a great draw. Ritual's good. I think I actually want both of these. I'm gonna go top here. Against a fair deck where we're more likely to go a little bit long. So, like, hitting our land drops in a game that's going long is appealing in this archetype. because it allows us to, what's the word that I'm searching for? Allows us to go off without a mana creature in play. Thalia. Well, ain't that a bag of dicks? Zegles, thanks for the 10 months. I really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to doing some more of the Spark as well. I'm ready to go. All right, Electromancer undoes Thalia. I don't think I'm in the market for... Nah, I'm probably in the market for another land. Let's go top here. I wonder if Hate Bears is a hard matchup for this archetype. The fact that we're playing Fetch Landstorm probably makes it harder than normal. And our Chalice plan isn't very good here, but I've got a grip full of, like, Bolts, Abrades, and Dismembers in the sideboard that are useful. Cleverly left my Electromancer on top of my deck here. Thalia and Electromancer just undo one another. Yeah, I don't feel like it's I'm gonna concede because we don't have a chance matchup, but I definitely don't think it's like a free for us by any means. I mean, if you like squint really hard or like have great vision, you can read the cards on Moto. Nah, not necessarily. I think I'd like to cast the Sleight of Hand because I'd prefer to draw, like, say, another copy of Electromancer or a Baral, so I can, like, actually start making my spells cheaper in a perfect world. All the God Eternals seem pretty sweet, honestly. I'm sure we're gonna play with all those at various points on stream. There's only 1,000 playable cards, just learned them. Yep. Yep. Do you have a Path to Exile? You have a Ghost Quarter. Yes. That one. If I fetch Shock, it puts me to 7. Yikes. This is 3, 4, 5 mana. And like Electromancer. So it's basically like I don't have Electromancer in play right now. Because he effectively just negates the Thalia. So what's the out? I think the out is Manamorphose into Baral. I think it's Manamorphose for red. And then hit Baral or another Electromancer and then go from there. Tasty Wonton, thanks for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me here. Yeah, because if I would have hit a mana creature, I could have gone 3 mana, 4, 5 mana, Past in Flames, cast Manamorphose, cast Rituals, cast some cantrips. That was the out and we missed. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go relatively heavy on interaction here. I also feel like there's an arcade. I feel like there's a lot of cards in my sideboard that can come in here. And I'm not 100% sure. Like, I feel like Repeal and Remands are easy outs. That leaves me like 7 possible cards I still need to cut. I feel like Pier is my weakest cantrip. I could cut a Past and a Gifts Ungiven. Are these Dismembers too much interaction? I could see these Dismembers, especially on the play, being too much interaction. You want me to cut an Electromancer? Nah, that can't seem right. I think I cut Baral before I cut Electromancer. Because, like, getting 2 mana creatures in play to undo a Thalia seems good. Although I guess I'm, like, also boarding in ways to kill Thalia, so there's that half of the coin as well. Yeah, maybe you're right that a creature's supposed to go. Yeah, I'd buy that for $1. Modern deck of your choice. Wanted a new bit badge. Thank you for the support, Bionic. Hope you're having a fantabulous Thursday. Let's try this. And again, by no means a Storm expert, just kind of fumbling but bumbling. Played a good, okay amount of Storm in the past, not with this configuration though. The 1/3 does block better. That is a real consideration. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. It's really good if it finds Gifts Ungiven. Baral being legendary is a real downside, but he does block better. So there's like different halves. Legendary is not always going to come up in every game, whereas blocking is going to come up more often. So maybe the blocking is more relevant. Well, that's excellent. I'm going to keep the backup creature here. The second creature beats a Thalia and it beats a Path to Exile. Doesn't die to Collective Brutality. Yeah, you're right. I'll if we get a game 3, I'll switch those back. I agree with the assessment that the chat is making. Alright, cast Leonin Arbiter and pass. Do they have a Ravenous Trap here, or Surgical, or are they just making me go through the motions? I'm not playing around a piece of Graveyard Hate here. I'm just gonna go for it. Felt like they were auto-passing, so even if they weren't, I'm definitely in like a go for it mood. Alright, smells like they're dead. Oh, did I board out my second Past in Flames? How do I kill them from here without my second Past in Flames? Do I just have to go get a bunch of cantrips? I don't have a Noxious Revival either, Hider. Yeah, I think it's go get a bunch of cantrips. Well, I can't get 3 win conditions. I guess I get double win con. If I get double win con, it bins them, which means I'm less likely to find them. But this, like, guarantees I get pieces Manamorphose, right? So is it right to guarantee pieces Manamorphose? I think so. Like, the problem is if I get here's the problem about getting all cantrips. I only have 2 blue mana currently. All right, I guess I just do this. If I would have kept my second Past in Flames in my deck, I'd have deterministically killed them here. But because I only kept 1 and they ditched the other Past in Flames, they're not deterministically dead. Yeah, the problem with this pile is I run out of blue mana. Yeah, I ran out of blue mana. So I lost this game because I sideboarded poorly. Yeah, I think the double win con pile is better. I agree with Polly. I think I should have gotten the double win con pile, so I guaranteed get to pieces plus. Yeah, I think I both sideboarded improperly and I then I think I sideboarded improperly and then made a mistake after I had sideboarded improperly. I mean, we can't really play Drago. They're gonna kill us with the Aether Vial. I think I let myself get talked out of the double win con pile when it was lethal. It was more likely to be lethal. So like it put half as many win cons in our deck, but so like to talk about it, it cut two of our 4 win cons out of our deck. But it left us with 2 win cons and 41 cards. But it guaranteed that we got to cast Manamorphose to see 1 card, Pieces of the Puzzle to see 5 cards, and Serum Visions to see 3 cards. So it gave us 2 hits in 41 cards with 9 looks versus the line that we took. We can actually just decide this with math, actually. I should have done this mid. So my gut thinks I made the wrong decision. Let's see. So there were gonna be 41 cards left in my deck. Mobzicle thinks for the Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So there are 41 cards in my deck. So if I take 9 looks with 2 successes, and I want at least 1, I'm 40% to hit there. Whereas what I did gave me 4 looks with 5 cards in my deck, which is actually, okay, so based on running the numbers, 5 looks with 4 hits is slightly better than 9 looks with 2 hits. And then, like, ultimately at the end of the day, so statistically, I made the right decision with how I'd set myself up. But more importantly, focusing on all the decisions that go into that game is if I sideboard correctly, my opponent's deterministically dead if I just leave the second Past in Flames in my deck. So, like, if I have the extra Past in Flames there, that happens. Sure, but this list is different, Akok. So if you look at, so like, if I pull up like a more traditional Storm list that's not trying to play Chalice of the Void, like the one that's on my website. So like traditional Storm, as the format goes right now, there's only 6 mana creatures, and they play 12 cantrips. So like the traditional logic that you're explaining here of like what I'm supposed to do is different because my deck list is different. So like, yeah, you can trim the cantrips first when you have 12 cantrips, but like when you have less cantrips, that becomes less appealing. And like ultimately in the day, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with this deck, and especially like only played 5 matches with this build. Maybe it's right to board the Past in Flames out there, but honestly, the way this works post-board, I've heard a lot of people say you're supposed to trim a Past in Flames post-board, but if you're leaving any amount of Gifts Ungiven, and I can't believe that that's correct, just because it takes away your deterministic kill if the opponent does like our last round opponent did there and ditches the Past in Flames. Is Storm viable in Modern currently? Modern is a format where viability, actually, Magic's a game where viability isn't measurable. There's no good Magic data that exists. All the Magic data that really exists is people pissing and beating on their chests and talking about their feelings. And then this is the part where someone likes to pop up and talk about how, like, even the Channel Fireball data, where they've been going through the different deck lists and all the matchups that they have there, the biggest vat of data that we have, even that has issues in that there's uncontrolled variables, like player skill, how these players are sideboarding, different subtleties between the deck lists that are going to skew matchups in one direction or the other, the inherent variance that comes along with Magic, like even if a matchup's favored, how much do we know it's favored by? So that's why a lot of people like to try and draw strong conclusions from really small sample sizes, but the actual answer is that, like, with all Magic data, there's a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of it just comes down to gut instincts and feelings more than anything. As for, is this deck viable? Anything that can kill people on turn 3 in Modern with some amount of consistency is viable. This format's about playing past your opponent and, like, strapping yourself up and going as quick as possible. As for the details in this deck list, I don't know. We killed our Phoenix opponent with Chalice of the Void. It felt okay. I do like that with other people starting to play more Chalices, this deck playing less 1-drops to be less insulated, to be more insulated against Chalice on one itself. That seems reasonable. I don't hate that. I'm not sure if playing 0 bounce spells in your sideboard is reasonable. This Miser Blood Moon feels a little bit cheeky. Would you recommend? Yes, any deck in Modern that can kill people on turn 3, if you like playing it, it's fine. Storm, here's the God's honest truth. Guess what? All right, so we're gonna pull up MTG Goldfish. It's the closest thing we've got. Here's the deep dirty secret of Magic the Gathering, and this applies to Modern and it applies to basically every format. See this Is It Phoenix deck that's the most popular deck here? See this Hardened Scales deck that's a lot less popular? This deck probably wins slightly more than Hardened Scales, but you know what? At the end of the day, the amount it wins by more just based on raw power level is not enough for you to sit there and be miserable while you play it. None of these decks in Magic win enough that they're going to keep you happy if the only thing that makes you happy is winning games of Magic. The most important thing about playing Magic, even in a tournament setting, is that you enjoy the gameplay mechanics that you're going through with the deck that you're playing. Like, if you don't enjoy Is It Phoenix, it's not going to win enough of the time that you're going to be miserable in every tournament you play, because the 0.5% or percentage or 2% or whatever, the small amount it wins more than this other deck that's less popular, it's not going to be enough. You're not going to win enough with it. At the end of the day, Magic's a game where even when you're competing at the highest level, it's really not paying you enough money to not enjoy what you're doing. And even tournaments like, you know, the Mythic Invitational and these other small arena tournaments that do have these really big prize pools, there's so much variance there that you need to just find a deck that you like. Magic's got an incredible amount of variance that you have no control over. Lands are a heck of a mechanic. Now, I think Augur of Bolas sounds way worse than playing an Explore creature. I'd much rather Explore on a 1/2 than, like, play a 1/3 for 2 that puts the top 3 cards on the bottom of my deck. Speaking of decks, which deck are you liking in this current standard? I don't know. I'm kind of spent on this current standard format. We're like slotting things around, but honestly, like, that's why I ended up playing the Jeskai deck that wasn't very good in the fandom tournament last week, because there wasn't really anything that I really like, and, like, the format's so close to being done that it's not worth spending my time figuring out which deck I actually like. Which is better, this or the last standard format? I think this format is markedly worse than the standard format before Wilderness Reclamation existed. I think the standard format is still fine, but I think it is markedly worse than when we didn't have to deal with Wilderness Reclamation. Last standard format, we got all the way through to the end, and I was like, yeah, this is great. This one's kind of dragging, and I'm ready for a change. And honestly, just the raw numbers of people that are watching my stream, like all my metrics everywhere, it shows that I'm not the only one that's spent on this standard compared to the last one. My numbers at the end of last season were night and day compared to the numbers at the end of this season. I would bet in large part it's due to Wilderness Reclamation. And obviously that's conjecture. I don't have data to that. It's all feelings like we talk about, but for me personally, it's based on Wilderness Reclamation. No, I've never called Declan Decklist. Although it was funny, I was talking to Christy and Declan was in the room playing, and I was like, yeah, we played 7 decks today on stream, and they were all pretty good. And Declan turns around and goes, decks? Like me? Because we call him Deck for short a lot of the time, or D. I was like, no, please not 7 of you. Extreme Gamer, thank you for the entire year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Have a sword to go with your shield. And Harbinger, pretty new Magic player, and I love the best of 3 content. Awesome, it's glad to have you here. Thank you for the support. Yeah, at the end of last season, we were playing a bunch of red-white land destruction. That's right. This is actually not Black-White Profit. It's Profit Tokens.